Hey everyone, how's it going? So now we can get to the user's profile by going to /profile to get to your own profile. We can go by ID as well, or we can go by username. So if we go to profile / and then a username like this, it takes us to a profile. So now what we need to do is actually render some content there, because this doesn't look great, of course. What we're going to do, if I just show you what it's going to look like, it's going to look something like this. So we'll get started with the top part right here, this little cover photo box, and then also the profile picture in there too. So let's go back to our text editor, so right here. And I'm going to close down profile roots.js for a bit. I don't think we'll need that for a little while. And then we'll just do some work in profile page.pug. Okay, so we're going to do the work inside the else block, because remember the if block takes care of the case where there's no user found. So the else block will help us here. So we'll get rid of this span. That was just to make sure it worked. We are, of course, going to keep the post container element again. We will write some code above that. We'll create a div with the class profile header container. And I've spelled that wrong, container. And then inside there, we'll create another div. And this is going to have the class cover photo container. All right, and then inside there is where we're going to add the cover photo, but we'll also put the user's photo in there. So just to remind you again, it's going to be like this. The reason we're going to put it in there is because it's going to overlap this slightly, but you're going to see how that works very shortly. So right here is where we'll make a check to see if we have the user's cover photo, but we don't have anything to do with that yet, so we'll just leave that for now. But underneath there, we will say dot user image container, and then we'll put an image in there, and this is going to be the user's profile image. So we know that the picture we want to show is profile user dot profile pic, because remember this profile variable is what we have given to us in the payload in our profile roots file. Okay, and the alt is just going to be the text that it shows when we can't load the image, so we'll just say user profile image. Okay, I think that's good for now. We do want to add an image here underneath that for uploading a new profile picture, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. So for now this is fine. Let's go and add some CSS for this. So if I refresh the page, it's probably not going to look great, if I'm honest. That doesn't look too bad. So let's right click on the image and click inspect, and let's add some style. So I don't think we're going to add anything to the profile header container directly, so I'll avoid that for now, but we'll come back and add something there if we need to. Let's add something to the cover photo container element. So I'll go to main.css, and let's scroll to the bottom, and I'll say dot cover photo container, and then here we can just say height is going to be 180 px. Background color is going to be var and then dash blue, you know, our blue that we use, and you can see how it's made this nice blue color right here. And we're also going to add position relative, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I want you to see how that works when we actually implement the picture. So we'll come back and add one more line of code there when we get to that. But underneath that, let's go ahead and style the user image container. So we'll style it with this profile header container element. So I guess you could put it here as well. So if you wanted to, you could say dot profile container, cover photo container. That works too. It's entirely up to you. So now we'll style the user image container. So we'll say profile header container dot user image container. Okay, now the user image container, if I do a search, you'll see we've already styled this further up in our file, which is why it's already taken some of that style. So we need to make sure we add this profile header container element to the start so that this code in here doesn't get applied to all of the profile images we use. The first thing we're going to do is override this height we've got, because further up there we have this height, where is it? Here. We set the height and width to 50 pixels. Now we don't want that on the profile page, so we're going to just say height is going to be 132 px. This is the value I took from Twitter itself, I think. I think it's the same as they use, so that's why I'm using this 132 px as well for the width. For the width, so you can see it's a lot larger now. We will then say margin left is going to be, we'll use our var spacing, Okay, so it's added a nice little space there. Now, this is where the magic happens. This is where we'll get it to overlap. So we want it to appear right on the bottom right here. If I show you on this site again, you see it's like halfway on extending out of this container. So what we need to do is make it positioned absolutely. So what we'll do is say position absolute. Now it won't do anything just yet. And then we're also going to say, well, let me just show you. If I say bottom 0, it's going to the bottom of the next parent it has, which has a position set. So let me say that again. So when you use position absolute, you're telling it to position based on the nearest parent element it has, which has a position set. So currently, I don't know where that's coming from. Where's this? It's one of the. I think it's this one. Yeah. So this main section container most likely has a position set somewhere. So it's coming from that. Or the wrapper does, one of the two. One of these elements has a position set. I think it's the wrapper or it's either the main section container. They probably have position relative or something like that. But what we want instead is to position this based on the cover photo container. So all we need to do to make it use that instead is to go and give that element a position. So above here, this is that line I was talking about. So we'll say position is going to be relative. And now you can see it works based on that. So I just use bottom 0 here just to show you, but if we use like top 0, for example, it would go 0 pixels from the top. If we change it to 5 pixels, it goes 5 pixels from the top. So what we want to do instead is position it at the bottom, but also like hanging over a little bit. So I'll change this back to bottom, and it's not going to be 0 1. We want to extend it past the container about half of the height it has. So you can see it's half on this one, half on that one. So all we need to do is say bottom and then half of whatever the height is. So we know the height is 132, and that means we can just set the bottom to 66px. Oh, actually, I need minus 66px, because at the moment, the bottom 66px is telling it to go 66 pixels from the bottom, which is what that is. We don't want that. We want to go minus 66, so it goes negative 66 pixels from the bottom, okay? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, we're going to style the image as well. Just one more line of code in here. We will take this. Let me scroll to the bottom. We will take this, copy it, and paste it below. And we don't need all that style, actually, get rid of that. To be fair, I could have just copied this top part. All we're going to do is add an IMG there, so I don't know why I did that. Anyway, all we're going to do is say border, it's going to be 4px solid, and then FFF, which is white. Okay, you can see it's added this white border around it. And that's all we're going to do in this video, I think. Let me just look at this. Yeah, that's all we're going to do here. So yeah, it's a good start. We do have another thing to do, and that's to add the button, so we can upload a new profile picture. This one right here, you see how when you hover over it, it changes to that. So we'll come and do that later though.